Hi guys, thanks for joining me for another video. Peter here, Thailand bound, and look who I bumped into. It's Trevor from Buzzin Pattaya.
How are you doing, buddy?
Trevor, you know what my memory's like. So before we even start this, I'm going to say if you haven't checked out Trevor's channel, it's Buzzin Pattaya. It's a great channel. Trevor is Mr. Pattaya. So anything you want to know about Pattaya, go and look at his channel. There's a lot of links in there. It's a great channel. So Trevor, it's been I think it's almost a year since we last met.
I know, mate. Yeah, last time I met you, we were just up the corner there in Danny's Sports Bar, and yeah,
had a few heavy nights in there.
Well, you did, and so did I.
Yeah. So obviously it's been a year. The last time I was here, it was really quiet. We're under lockdown. Not lockdown. I mean, the bars will close at 9 o'clock. All the girls have gone back to Isan. There was hardly anyone around. It was quite depressing in one way. In another way, it was kind of fun that you could look at the city in a different light. I mean, I know you live here, so it's harder for you to actually kind of gauge over time the changes, whereas me being away for a year and then suddenly coming back, I can see the changes immediately. But from your sort of perspective, what's the major changes you've seen over the last sort of 11 months since I was last here?
I think the biggest change that was more known, well, there's two big changes. The first one is soy chapun, or soy pothole as we call it. That's really developed now. There's a lot more bars up there. It really is becoming into what would be like a go-to area. I really do think it's good. And obviously, you know, which is well publicised, is the walking street. You know, walking street's changing so much at the moment, and no one really has an idea as to what the end game is with walking street. It's still, you know, there's still a lot of talk about are they going to make it family friendly? Are they going to continue with the go-go bar? They're talking about right now about minimising all the signage. So, you know, there's been a lot of things that have changed. But I would say the two biggest changes are probably soy chapun, or soy pothole as you may know it, and definitely walking street, those two.
And what do you think about the difference as far as soy bakal? Because what I've noticed, I never liked this area initially when I came over here. I kind of thought it was a bit like Benidorm, if that makes sense. But I actually love it now because it's a lot cheaper over here. You don't get hordes of tourists like walking down, like you see them walking with a flag, you know, not spending money, just like literally looking. For yourself, I mean, what do you think about like these days the beach area, like soy 7, soy 8? Because they used to be the happening soys in the old days, but they seem to have died a death a little bit.
There's been a lot of changes down those soys. I mean, if you go to the top end up near Second Road, you know, in soy 7, you know, you've got Shooters, you've got NDTV, Nick's Place. You know, there's some nice bars at that end. Down the other end, it's kind of like sort of like filtered out a little bit now. It's nothing like what you remember when you first were coming out here. Beach Road seems to be under a lot of constant clearing up. I mean, they just had a big roundup not long ago. So I don't know, you know, again, this kind of goes into the walking street scenarios. What are they going to do with walking street? If they're doing it with walking street, are they going to continue it along Beach Road and make it more family friendly and less entertainment based? But you know, I mean, the thing is, like, the city has to change. It has to evolve. We've got to embrace it. You know, we're not going to stop it.
No.
We've just got to embrace it. You know, like we said before when we've been talking, you know, you can always say back in the day. Well, you're not going to go back in the day. You've got to look at tomorrow and next week and next month, and that's what we've got to focus on.
Yeah. And what I mean, at the moment, when people come here, where do you think generally is the sort of favoured spot to head for? Do you think people are sort of now tending to head over to Tree Town, LK Metro, or are they still, you know, the diehards are still hanging out in the beach area?
Oh, definitely over here.
Yeah.
I mean, not so much Tree Town. I mean, Tree Town, we've got the restaurant complex over there, which is nice. We've got a good selection of bars here.
Yeah, it's good.
But this is still work in progress. We're nowhere near where it should be. But certainly LK Metro, you know, there's been a huge amount of work gone in there. You've got some fantastic places, you know, like places like King and stuff like that. You know, they're jaw droppers. You know, you walk in, you're like, wow, like this is amazing. So I think, you know, people are coming over here. People are tending not so much to head towards walking street. So I think this is going to be a good area. I think it's going to really be busy once things return.
Sure. I mean, something I notice a lot of the time on my channel, what people will say, they say, oh, it's dead, it's not the same as it used to be, it's really quiet, it's not worth going there. I mean, I think it's pre-COVID. I mean, it's busy. What do you think?
It's definitely getting better. I mean, the guys that say, oh, it's dead, it's buried, I mean, I don't know, if you want me to take you to a bar now with 500 guys and 10 girls, then let me know and I'll take you there, you know.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I think it's the best time in the world to come, because now the pendulum is in our favour, and so you go in the bar that's normally, you know, I've got to love the motorbikes, I mean, they whack up. But you know, you go to a bar now, there's generally speaking more girls than what there are guys. Well, you know, that's not the end of the world, is it?
No. Just on the thing, what Trevor was saying about the motorbikes there, unfortunately my microphones, all laid best plans, I plugged them in and they failed. So we're actually using the camera microphone. So hopefully we'll be able to hear each other.
Mate,
or you'll be able to hear us.
I went all the way back home and I forgot my mic as well. So don't worry, I'm with you.
I know. I did a video with Trevor before this one for his channel, and he's got these radio mics that cost more than my house, you know. So
and I still don't know how to use them.
I still don't know how to use them. Right. So let me ask you. Let's talk a little bit about a controversial subject now, or subjects. What do you think of prices now, as far as ladies' drinks? You know, if you want a lady to keep you company for a while. I mean, I found those ladies' drinks very expensive, because
I will say, in defence to the bars, not the girls, we'll talk about that in a second, but to the bars, what's happened now, and it's been quite very obvious, is a lot of the landlords have since come back and said, right, we gave you a breather, we helped you out during COVID, so now you need to pay the full rent, and you need to now, maybe someone, I know people here, and I won't mention who, but there are bars here that have had their rent increased. Now, as we both know, you know, there's only one way you can get the revenue back, and that's through beers. So that's why some of the beers have gone up. Regarding the girl situation, yeah, it has changed. And again, you know, that's a reflection of COVID, because before COVID, they never had this internet presence. They never had these groups that can go on and talk and all the rest of it, and suddenly people send the money and all that. And it's great that the guys supported the girls during those last 2 years. But what that's also done, he said to the girls, well, listen, you know how much money you can earn, like, you know, so when they come here, they're thinking, well, hang on, I've got a guy sending me 5,000 baht a month, 10,000 baht a month, and I don't need to go off with a customer unless he wants to pay me big money, and then I'll go. So it has had a bit of an effect, but I think it will settle down. I don't think it will continue like this. I know a lot of people have been saying, oh, it's getting too expensive, they price themselves out of the marketplace. To a degree, you're right, you know, you are right, it has changed, but I don't think that can last forever. I think that will eventually feather out, and people will say, look, let's go back to how it used to be.
Yeah. And to anybody who comes here and thinks it's expensive here in Pattaya, just to give you an example, when I was in Bangkok a few weeks ago, you're talking anywhere between 200 and 250 baht for a ladies' drink, and you've only got to look at Trevor's video when he attempted to have an Indian meal in Bangkok. I mean, well, how much was that? How much were those dishes? Because you didn't have it, did you?
No, I walked out. I walked out. I mean, the start was like 350 baht. Your chicken curries were 490, 560, you know, you were talking like 1,500 baht for just a rice and curry and an naan bread. I'm like, dude, I'm hungry, but I'm not that.
I know. But you know, here in Pattaya, yeah, it's expensive. It's not what it used to be, but compared to Bangkok, you still get a lot of kind of bang for your buck, as it were. There's go-go bars in LK Metro. You know yourself, Trevor. You can get draft beer for 59 baht. Well, you won't get a draft beer in Bangkok for 59 baht. I know yourself, because you live here, you're not really into the nighttime scene. I mean, you do your bar crawls and all that sort of thing. How are they going, by the way? Your bar crawls?
Crazy.
Yeah, I went on
crazy.
one.
You were on them before?
I went on one. The reason I haven't been on the sort of recent ones is because, one, they start in the afternoon, and anybody who watches my channel knows I do not drink in the afternoon. And I just don't think I'd get through one of your bar crawls and manage to say no to a beer. Because when I went to Danny's bar one night early with you, if you remember last year, I had a soda water. It was about 5 o'clock, and you were like, "What?"
Yeah, we buried him. We batted him for that. You don't do soda waters.
No.
I'll tell you what, it's scary how busy they're getting. You know, we've had like 52 guys, and what we have to do is we obviously can't take 52 guys into one bar, so we end up splitting and staggering it. But it's been great fun, really good fun.
That was one of the issues I had. Not an issue, but when I went on the bar crawl in the early days with you a year ago, we'd go to Danny's, which is a large bar, and you could all sit there, and it was a lot of fun. But then we'd suddenly go into a go-go bar that was the size of a shoebox, and even then there were like 28 guys on the bar crawl. It was like, you know,
like, it's been a learning curve as well. I've learned a lot. I mean, I don't go out in the evenings. You know, that's not my style. Obviously, I'll go out on the bar crawls. You know, people come over, I'll go out with them. But you know, it's been interesting to see how this night scene sort of like developed over the last 2 years. Since they've opened up now, you can see the girls are so much sharper.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So much sharper.
Yeah, they are. And so you know, this weekend, today, and I'm dating this video now, but today and tomorrow they got the fireworks display here. Now, I've never seen the firework display here,
mate,
and I will go down there tonight to have a look. Is it fantastic?
Phenomenal.
Absolutely fantastic.
Phenomenal.
Is it really?
If you take whatever the best firework display you've ever been to in your entire life and times it by 10, you're halfway close to what you're going to get.
Wow,
it's amazing.
That'll be interesting you said that, because the best firework I've ever seen was actually in China. I was actually working in a hotel in a place called Dalian, and they did a firework display, and it lasted for like 4 hours, and it was fantastic. So it'll be good to see this one
See,
here.
we've had different lifestyles. I'm talking about Wimbledon Common with a sparkler.
You remember sparklers?
I do, mate. Yeah, I do. But no, all jokes aside, it's an international firework display. 2 days, 12 countries are representing it. So 6 one, 6 from the other.
How does that work then with it? Countries represented?
Well, they have these massive, huge pontoons like that are out in the bay there.
What, each country?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. Honestly,
is it like a competition then?
Yeah. And
I didn't know that.
They're proper setups, mate. I mean, honestly, the pontoons. You're probably going to see like probably 4 or 5 million baths worth of fireworks.
Wow.
It's mental, but it's so good.
And you say probably about 7:30 that kicks off?
Yeah, 7 o'clock it will kick off. Normally wraps up about 9:30, and then you can go off and do your thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good, mate.
And I would imagine it's going to be so busy you can't even park a motorcycle down there.
Well, the smart people, they go to places like CM at CM Design Hotel. They go to the Hilton Horizon Lounge. They'll go to some of the viewpoints, and you pay a ticket. It might be 1,000 baht or 1,500 baht, but trust me, it's worth it, because when you go on the beach road, I don't know what this year will be like, because obviously we're still recovering. But if you go back to before the last 2 years, it was like shoulder to shoulder carnage. It really was like 20,000-30,000 people just standing in little blocks. It's mental.
Yeah. So it's not even worth driving down there.
Well, you can't. They shut the road.
So what would you do? Go on the second road and walk down?
Yeah, walk down.
Oh, okay, well I'm glad to know that, because I was intending to drive down there tonight.
You might be right on your motorbike. No, the cars don't know. It's just carnage. It's real carnage.
I went down there for Loy Krathong and that was quite busy, but I did manage to find a parking space. But anyway, off topic there. So let's just talk quickly about you've got this Discord group, haven't you? 20,000 members now. Yeah. Why don't you tell everybody what that's about?
So basically, it's like an online platform where you can chat, ask questions. We post daily photos of the girls that are working in the bars right now. So if you're going out tonight, you can flick through the photos and go, they're working here tonight in that bar. But it's just a really good community. Like, we're getting close to 20,000 members now. It's totally free, doesn't cost you a penny. And all you do is you go in there, and it's ideal for people that want to find out what's going on here or have never been here, to ask all those questions. We've got a lot of experienced people on there. And again, it was something that we started with no idea what to expect. Pre-Discord, we had Telegram, and Telegram was just carnage. It was too many people, and we had about 600-700 people then. They're all talking over each other. Whereas Discord is rooms. You go to this room, it's a bit like a forum. But it's been really good.
Yeah, I must go and have a look at it sometime. But you know what it's like.
It's technical, mate.
And I do everything myself, so I'm just so busy all the time.
Oh, that's terrible, isn't it?
So, just to sort of end this, and it's great to see you again, by the way.
Yeah, it's good, mate. Really good.
Just to kind of end this. So, where can you see the future with yourself? Because you started off like me. You had a YouTube channel. You did vlogs. You did restaurants. You did bars. You've kind of evolved out of that now, and you're kind of doing other things. Long term, how can you see? Is YouTube going to be your long-term future? Do you think, or are you moving away from YouTube into another area, or will you keep that in the background?
I'm going to change. Next year is a big change. I've got a website which I'm in the process of building now, and it's nearly there. And that's going to have a members area. Because one of the things, we spoke about this before, Peter. You walk down the road, there's a bit of music on, and suddenly, bang, you've been monetized, it's gone, and all the rest of it. And you're like, oh, really? And also, like you mentioned earlier, the content that you can offer people is very restricted. It's very difficult. So what I've done is we've been building a website now for the last 3 months. So I'm going to have a members area behind the firewall, and I will be focusing a lot on that in terms of going out. I want to talk to bar owners and let them tell me real stories. I want to talk to bar girls and tell me real experiences. I want to be able to walk around and not worry about music and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. I will still do my YouTube channel, but I will basically use that for like daytime. So if I walk down Soy 7 or Soy 8, wherever, I can walk down there and say, hey guys, here we are, blah, blah, blah. And also, if you want to see what's going on tonight, then have a look in the members area there. That's when it's all bouncing, all dancing. So I think that's what I'll do.
I mean, if you don't know what Trevor's talking about, one of the biggest problems we have creating content for YouTube is they are so strict. And, in somewhere like Pattaya, what people want to see, they want to see bars, they want to see girls, they want to speak to bar owners, like Trevor's just said. But we can't do it, because if you walk into LK Metro and your video picks up just a few seconds of a song, you'll get an email from YouTube the following day saying we've demonetized this video, the money's going to the owner of this track, and it's so frustrating. And what I don't know, you've done the same as me. I'll go around the bars in the daytime and say on camera I can't film at night because of copyright, and you get lots of complaints. People write to you and say, well, it's so boring seeing it in the day, why don't you go around there at night? So that's a good idea. I'll look forward to that.
Yeah, I mean the thing is as well, what people tend to forget is like, it's a lot of work what we do.
It is a lot of work.
People say, oh, you're focused on the money. The money we get from YouTube is not significant enough to worry about, but it also helps pay the bills.
Yeah, of course.
So if you spend an hour walking around, then you spend 2 or 3 hours editing it, and then suddenly, like you say, the bit of music in the background, bang, you've lost all your money. You're like, well, that's a waste of my time.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we have to live, we have to eat, no matter what we do.
That always makes me laugh as well when people write in and say, oh, you're only doing it for the money. I mean, if you've got a successful YouTube channel, fairly successful, you will know that probably the first year to 18 months, it's like a full-time job. You don't make a penny, do you?
No,
and what a lot of people don't realise is just how much money YouTube cream off the top. So like if you're doing a live stream and somebody sends you $10, you get $7. They keep 30% of it.
And if they send it from America, they tax you 22%.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where you're registered. My YouTube channel is registered in Thailand, so I pay 7% tax here, but I also have to pay UK tax because I'm still a resident of the UK. So if you're one of those guys you think I'm going to go out to Thailand and make a YouTube channel and make a living, forget it. Do something else. Write a book or do drop shipping.
Haven't you?
Yeah, I haven't. I forgot. Don't ask it. He got me on his video. I've got this book and I forgot the title because I haven't looked at it for 3 months.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, he got me twice there. Now. Revenge will be had. I'm very, very lucky because we've done this in the morning because, like I said earlier, my microphones have failed, so I'm actually taking the camera the microphone straight off the camera, but luckily it's fairly quiet. It's 12:20. It's going to start liveling up now. We're sitting in the Buzzin bar in Tree Town. There's a road in front of us, and we've both been fairly lucky with the sound, but it is starting to, the motorbikes are starting to get a little bit more frequent now. Yeah. So I think we'll leave it for now. That's, it's starting to get a little bit noisy, but Trevor, thanks for your time. I know you're a busy man, and guys, Trevor's channel, like I said at the beginning, I haven't forgot, it's Buzzin Pattaya. Check out the Buzzin bar in Tree Town here. How's this place doing actually? Because this was under construction when I came here. It was, I didn't,
at the front here we do, the bar's doing well, but we do have a happy hour. Stephen's, well, you know what Stephen's like. Stephen's just, he's either nothing or 100%.
Is that the manager, Stephen?
He's the owner.
Okay. He's the owner, right?
He's the owner. So on between 6 and 8 p.m. here, we have local beers at 39 bar.
Do you know what? That's phenomenally cheap.
Yeah,
I haven't actually been here because I didn't want to come to this particular bar, but like I said to Trevor at the beginning, I've spent a lot of time over in Jumpty and just kind of reflecting on life, as it were, because my partner, my wife, and myself are kind of going our separate ways. And after a lot of years, sometimes usually a little bit of time to chill out, and that's what I've been doing. But I'm getting over it now, so perhaps I'll pop in one of these nights. I'll be down on the beach tonight for the fireworks. And where will you?
Get on the bar call.
Yeah. where will you be? Where are you actually watching the fireworks from? Not exact location.
Not tonight because tonight's a bar call. But tomorrow I'll be down on Beach Road somewhere. I'll have a wander around, probably around about the Hilton area that way.
Yeah.
But if we'll try and hook up and go and have a few beers.
And do you get a lot of people recognise you when you're out and about? And how do you handle that?
Despite the fact I'm a YouTuber and everyone seems to think anyone on YouTube's got a huge ego, I'm actually quite humble about it, and I'm like, oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you so much indeed. Yeah. I'm a people person, so it's nice to greet people, it's nice to see people, but it's also quite intimidating in many ways. Because people come and say, hey, how you doing? I'm like, hey, how are you doing? It's very nice. It's very humbling.
I've had, especially here in Pattaya, more than Bangkok actually, I've actually had people come up to me who recognise me, and like you say, it's kind of, you feel a little bit embarrassed, don't you? Because you think, well, I've just got a YouTube channel, and they treat you like something more than that. And
people say to me, oh, I watch you on YouTube. I say, don't worry, mate, when the TVs get better, you'll have much more options, don't worry.
Yeah. So, but I've only had one guy who was a bit funny with me. Most people have been really nice. How about the people you've met? Are most of them okay?
Everyone's been cool. Yeah. No.
I had one guy in a bar, he just ripped into me. He said, I've been watching your channel since day one. You shouldn't wear a vest when you do this. You shouldn't do this, and you should do this. And I was like, yeah, thanks for telling me how to run my channel.
Well, do you know what we should do? If we did it, there'd be no more ever. The YouTube would stop. Is write a book about all the troll comments we get.
Oh my god, yeah. We can put that into your website, can't we?
Mate, that'd be brilliant. Yeah. We could expose them. Trouble is they hide behind fake profiles, so you just can't get them. But anyway, that'd be quite.
Like the guy said to me, I can't wait to see you in Sukhumvit because you won't see me coming, and I'm like, what? Anyway.
Well, I hope not. It should be inside in the bar.
Yeah. Well, I'm still here. Anyway, Trevor,
No,
again,
it's been a pleasure.
thank you. It's
You're
been a
welcome.
pleasure, and
Been a pleasure.
yeah, we'll have a few beers later. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll catch you real soon. Live stream Sundays at 5 p.m. UK time while I'm in Thailand. I'm trying to keep my UK audience happy as well. Okay, guys, thanks for watching again. Thank you to Trevor. I'll catch you real soon. Stay safe.